Hey everybody, welcome to tonight's virtual reception. We're happy that you could join us tonight. You're going to see two great exhibits. This one, we're standing in the big room, which is the Art of the Mural, with some of Orlando's foremost muralist artists, and the Heather Nagy Show, which is all about Orlando and the scenescapes around there. Hope you have a good time. Enjoy the show. So, hello everybody, we're sitting here with the fabulous PJveda, and she's done lots of murals around town, and she's a great artist. So, I want to introduce you to her, and she's going to tell you a little bit about some of the murals she's done. Mm-hmm. So, how many murals have you done?
Honestly, I'm kind of new to the mural game, so I've really only done about 4 so far.
4?
Yep.
And did you always kind of want to end up doing murals? Was that something you aspired to, or did you just kind of fall into that?
To be honest, it was a little intimidating at first. Coming from Atlanta, there's murals everywhere, and they're really big and really beautiful. And of course, it was always something to say, I wish I could do that one day. So to kind of be getting that ball rolling is really nice.
Yeah. What was your first mural?
Actually, a kid's room. It was an enchanted forest. Which is right up my alley, and it turned out really, really nice.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so tell us about the other type of art you do. I'm familiar with it, but some of the people watching may not be, so.
So I am a classically trained oil painter, and I'm really inspired by kind of like the real old Dutch masters, but also the surrealism. So my work is kind of a mixture of classical and surrealism with a little bit of like fantastical twist. I tend to incorporate a lot of figures and nature and kind of make them one. My whole purpose is to kind of bring a coexistence between human and nature.
Awesome. I've seen it. It's beautiful, beautiful. So is your first mural your favorite mural, or do you have another one?
No, honestly, my favorite mural is the one that I have for this show, which is the pineapple. And when I got asked to do that, to be honest, I wasn't that excited. I was like, pineapple, okay, I'll do it. But then, I mean, it just kind of took on a life of its own. It got really colorful, it got really big. There are cool little elements to it. So that one's my favorite for sure.
It's really pretty.
Thanks.
So if you had to paint a mural anywhere, and I was going to say in Orlando, but if you could paint a mural anywhere, where would you want to paint a mural?
Oof. I don't know. I follow Powwow Nation. I don't know if you know who that is, but it's based out of Hawaii. That would be nice. Also like Spain or anywhere like that. That would be really cool, like to dream big.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I was just going to say if you had any murals you looked up to, but Powwow Nation is one. Anybody else?
I mean, it's so weird when you're put on the spot. You can't think of them right away, but like I have a ton that I just like scroll through, and it's just like drooling over.
Yeah. My first exposure to a mural is not about me, but was, because I lived in Hawaii, was Wayland. You know, just first murals, and I remember seeing, I'm like, damn, how cool is that on top of a building? But since then, I've been exposed to all the murals around here, and they're just super fabulous. So. And, okay, so last question. Mm-hmm. Do you have any new mural projects or any other projects coming up?
I mean, pre-COVID, I had a big one planned for the airline.
So I think that's coming back.
Yeah, so I think it was just on hold. So as soon as reality sort of gets back to somewhat normal, we're going to do that. I think 2021 is the plan for that one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And tell people where they can see your art.
The murals or my
all of your art. Yeah,
okay,
where
so
can they follow you?
Oh, where can they follow me? They can follow me on Instagram. It's my name at PJveda. And then just around Orlando, the Pineapples at the Yard in Ivanhoe by the pool. I have one downtown Winter Garden by the fountain. Yeah. Ethos Vegan Kitchen, a home spot of mine. And then, of course, City Arts.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, PJ. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
for taking the time.
All right, yeah.
I'm not sure. Okay, hi folks. We're sitting here with Limas, renowned artist, local artist. He's done a bunch of different murals in town. I think maybe 11, 12, maybe 300 of them. I'm not exactly sure. But we're going to ask him right now. So Limas, how many murals have you done?
Too many. Way too many.
You have an idea?
I would say all throughout my whole entire life and career, I'd say about 30-something.
30-something,
Yes.
awesome. Did you always want to do murals like that, or did you just kind of fall into it?
It was by accident that I fell into it. My first mural was on my platoon door when I was in the military.
Really? What was
Yes.
that? What was it a mural of?
The mural was of depicting a wolf, because the name of our platoon was called the Wolf Pack. And we were basically taking classes on the M16. We were dismantling it, putting it together. And instead of like taking, these classes, I was actually just drawing on my notepad. And from that, it led on to them catching me with all my drawings. And they're like, okay, so you are now tasked out to do this mural on front of our platoon door. That was the first one. So I was kind of like forced to do this.
Oh, that's fabulous, though.
Thank you, Army.
Thank you, Army. What other type of art do you do?
I do a lot of mixed media. Right now, I'm dabbling with different textures, textiles, those sort of things. And it's quite fun to be able to dabble into different mediums, to create
Cool.
from that. Yeah.
So you say you've been doing art for how many years now?
I think that we're all born creators, I think that I just stuck to being creative since the age of 12. So I'm not going to put out my number out there like that. But
I don't blame you. So of all the murals that you've done, what's your favorite one?
I did a mural in Eatonville, and it resonates because when I was in high school, I did a paper, an essay, and it was about the Harlem Renaissance. And in it, there was a character. Her name was Zora Neale Hurston, and she was profoundly interesting to me, the fact that she was an artist, she was a poet. And I recently did a mural right before COVID. I'm talking about the same month of February. We had finished the release to the mural. And thank you to the city of Eatonville and to the Rice Project, because they allowed me to express it. So yes.
It looks pretty big. I didn't make it by there like I was planning to. It's good size, right?
Yes, I mean, it's huge. I think it's about 40-something feet by 16 or 17. So,
Wow.
yes.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could paint a mural anywhere, where would you like to do a mural?
I already told you guys this. You have an abandoned building right across City Arts Factory. You got a building next to the new City Arts Factory. I'm ready. All you gotta do is just hit me up.
But is that your favorite place, or is there like some kind of fantasy place you would love to do a mural?
Oh man, I would love to do one in my country, Honduras, depicting we have a leader, his name is Lempira, and I would like to do a mural depicting my struggle coming into this country and at the same time holding on to my roots from Honduras. So I like to do something in my country that can kind of tie everything else together.
Oh, I like that. Sounds really good.
Yeah.
Is there a certain muralist that you look up to, famous or local, or?
Diego Rivera happened to be the first one that I noticed that did eloquent work, but at the same time, he was just really speaking on a lot of socialist issues that were going on in Mexico and around the world. And a lot of people consider him to be a communist, but I kind of like the fact that he introduced politics and religion and all sorts of stuff, and he wasn't just painting pretty images, you know. He was talking about stuff, you know, that was going on around him. So kudos to Diego Rivera.
Yeah, he was quite controversial, but beautiful.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and finally, do you have any murals or other projects coming up that you would like to tell us about?
I recently did a couple of murals inside the Bronx Kingdom, and that is located in International Drive. They also have another property inside the Fashion Square Mall. And I did a series of like 5 different murals inside of there. They just recently did their pre-opening. They're about to open up soon. And I definitely advise everybody to go and check out the Bronx Kingdom and International Drive. You will love it.
Cool. Also, what's the address of the Zora Neale Hurston one so people can find that?
That I don't have it from the top of my head, but it's in Elizabeth Park. There's only one Elizabeth Park in Eatonville. And it's like a couple of blocks from where Ms. Zora Neale Hurston used to play at, which is really interesting. It's a basketball court, and trust me, you can't miss it, because alongside me, there's different poets and different artists that all participated to do this mural. There was a collaboration, so yes.
Good, I'm looking forward to finding that one. Okay, cool. Tell people where they can follow you. Instagram, what's your handle?
Instagram is the main one. Then you have the website, which is glimas.wordpress.com or at Limas Art. And yeah, you can definitely give me a shout out there if you're interested on commission work, murals. Hit me up.
All right.
As long as it's not a wolf pack.
No, I want the wolf pack.
No, done with the wolf pack.
I really do. All right, thank you.
Hey, my name is Skip. I am an artist, musician, and all-around creative from Orlando, Florida.
Awesome. Skip, how many murals would you say you've done in your lifetime so far?
Between client murals and murals of my own artwork, my franchise work, probably somewhere around 10. It's not a lot. I love doing murals, and over the years have created a way of taking kind of the hyper-technical and super clean, detailed artwork that I do, and to make it so that it doesn't take months to create a mural, and being able to get it up in just a few days, and the science of creating a mural. However, because of the nature and the context of some of my artwork being more politically or socially motivated, sometimes it can be a little tricky to find people who are a good match to be able to take some of those messages and putting it on the sides of their buildings and walls.
That makes sense, because you were kind of ecologically political, I would say.
What I like to do with my artwork is to take social messages around pollution, labor exploitation, politics, health, and to create an open door to be able to talk about those kind of sometimes heavy subjects a little bit more openly and make them more approachable, using color and using humor in order to hopefully kind of make a kind of a fun environment that can make learning or education seem a little less laborious or intense.
I like that. Yep, that's exactly what you do. How long have you been doing art, actually?
I started doing art around 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. I actually was only doing music. I've done music my whole life. I was an instrumentalist. I was a music major at UCF, full scholarship. I was saxophone, clarinet. I played in the drum line. I played a lot of different instruments. I started making my own music with a local artist and musician named Swamberger. It was my entire life and then I started hanging around with the wrong crowd, the B-side artists, and they actually, a friend of mine named Tobar, challenged me to try and start taking some of the visual aesthetic that I do with my music, with comic books and concept albums, and to kind of apply that into making artwork. And the first show that I did was actually a stencil show, and I'd never done stencils before, never done art before, and I just kind of started making stencils from the way that it made sense in my brain. And I did a 5-color spray paint stencil, 5-color, 5-layer stencil that was of a human face. And it turned out to be so crisp. It had lettering and the different layers of the face, and it ended up being so crisp that throughout the whole evening, everyone would just walk past my piece.
My name is Sean Walsh, and I go also by the name Secret Society.
We love Secret Society. So Sean, how many murals have you done in your career?
That's an interesting question because I think, commercially, I've done, let's see, 1, 2, 3, maybe like 4 or 5. So not too many, but in my previous life, when I had a corporate job working for Whole Foods Market, a lot of my job involved doing custom chalkboard illustrations, and every single one of those was almost like doing a little mini mural, which I kind of didn't realize that skill would translate over later to doing larger works for businesses and private clients.
That's cool. So you just really fell into being a muralist. You're an artist, and then was it anything you really kind of aspired to in your?
I've always admired murals and the people who create them, and it wasn't until someone asked me to do one with them, and I told that, it was actually another artist from Orlando, Hillary Powers, asked me to work on a mural with her, and I told her that I had never done one before, and when I saw how the process actually worked, I realized that I had been doing them on a smaller scale for most of my job and career as an artist, and that all I had to do was take that process and kind of scale it up to apply it to walls, which I thought was, sometimes it's just the smallest details create a revelation for you.
It's true. It's true. Okay, so I know what type of art you do, but tell our viewers about Secret Society.
Sure. So what's maybe a little different about me is that I'm not typically like an installation artist. I'm primarily a graphic designer, and I know that's a valid form of art, but I'm so used to creating art specifically for a client or a particular need or a brand or a space. Most of my murals actually happen to be inside other businesses that are there to enhance the space or the branding of the business itself. So actually, back when I had my corporate job, I started Secret Society, which is a line of small goods and merchandise, pins, patches, bandanas, etc., as a way to kind of put my self-expression out there and create something for myself to represent my interests. And from there, it just kind of took off. And I started being asked to participate in shows like this one at City Arts. And so I started creating art to sort of support, that environment based on the themes that interest me.
That's super fabulous. So where are your murals located? Is there some place people can go see them?
Yeah, so like I said, a lot of mine happen to be inside other businesses, but you can see one at Hungry Pants, which is a restaurant on Orange Avenue in sort of just outside of maybe the Soto district. I have a mural at Sunroom, which is a bar on Mills next to the guest house. And that one's really fun because it's actually painted backwards. And when you stand in front of it, there's a mirror across from you. And you can it's kind of like a selfie opportunity. I used to have one at Purple Rock Scissors, but their office moved. And then some of my absolute favorites are in a bar called Whippoorwill, which is on South Street in the Milk District.
Oh, it's very cool, very cool. So if you could paint a mural anywhere in the world on any building, where would you paint one?
This might not be a very exciting answer, but I would just love to have an outdoor mural somewhere in Orlando, because so many of my murals happen to be, for hire projects, which I'm super grateful for. I love, love, love doing them. But it would be really cool to take a piece of art that I created for myself and put it on a wall somewhere, I think.
I think that's exciting. I think so too. Do you have a muralist that you look up to, either local or national or international?
Yeah, so I mean, I gotta say, I've grown to really fond of Skip. I think his technical ability is, some of the best I've seen, and we've developed a friendship, and I'm really grateful for that. And he's, super open with sharing his techniques, and he's constantly educating people around him, and I think that's really spectacular, and he truly cares about the arts community in this town and beyond. And then I also have grown quite fond of this muralist that I follow on Instagram who goes by the name of Brian Casper. And he does a lot of typographical work, and what he's actually been doing recently during the pandemic is finding like a condemned building in the area and getting a permit to paint a mural on that before it's destroyed, so it creates sort of like a temporary installation for his pieces. And I just think that's fantastic. And they actually he's started doing something where people can come and take photos with them, and they can donate, and the donations go to charity, which I think is really cool.
That's very awesome. Where did you say he was located?
I actually forget what city he's located in. I'd have to look it up. Okay. But his name is Brian Casper, or B Casper on Instagram, BKASPER.
Okay, cool. And speaking, I'm going to get right to your Instagram in a minute, but do you have any new projects coming up that you want to tell us about?
A lot of my projects are graphic design projects. I may finally get to do something outdoors coming up soon, but I don't want to say anything just yet. I don't want to jinx myself.
Okay, cool. Then tell us your Instagram handle and where else people can find your art.
Sure. My Instagram handle is @SecretSocietyGoods, spelled how it sounds, all one word, no underscores. You can find my art through that Instagram. There's a link in my bio to my online shop. And then my other website for my professional graphic design portfolio is secretsociety.work.
Awesome. Sean, thank you so much for being with us today. We look forward to seeing more of you around here.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right. Bye. We're in the side gallery here with Heather Nagy and one of her fabulous shows. She's actually going to have 2 this year. So, hi Heather, how you doing?
Good.
You want to tell us a little bit about your art and the show and what you're doing?
Yes. This show this month is called The City Beautiful. And if you come and see it, it is all landscapes of downtown Orlando. And so it's a great example of kind of where the human touch of all the buildings and stuff like that interacts with the trees and the landscape and how they all come together. And so, like, for example, this piece is along Central Avenue, and I call it Senior on the Block. And with all these pieces, for me, it was about finding beauty and inspiration right where I was. Because sometimes the familiar, like you go past it and you're so busy with what's on your to-do list that you forget, like, oh, here's some beautiful things. For example, like some of the trees that are along Lake Eola. They've been there forever. They have withstood so much, been through hurricanes. You know, they were there before the buildings ever were, and they're still standing. And they're incredible. They're covered with moss. And so it's like slowing down to take in all that and say, wow. Because when we slow down and we see the beauty, like it gives us like a lift and a hope. And I want to, portray that through my work. And so that's about what some of the pieces here in Orlando are.
Yeah, so when I saw the title on like the senior and I looked down and go, oh yeah, she's definitely talking about that tree because it is the focal point in that piece. But I do like how you put the buildings and the cars and all of that stuff in there too, so people can get an idea of, oh, I know, I walk by that, every day, right?
Yes. Yeah. And I love taking advantage of the light through the trees and things like that. Sometimes it's, I'll go and I'll take pictures and the pictures are perfect, and other times I've got to give them a little bit of a nudge.
Do you ever blend like two things together, like you'll see a tree, but the surroundings is not so great, and then you'll add that to another piece? Do you do that as well?
Yes. If you want to go over here to this one, that is a great example. This one is called Lake Eola Grand Finale. And I had done probably 15 different pieces of Lake Eola. And so in my head, do you want to get lights?
Well, they're on, but that light bulb is off. Sorry, folks, the light is off on this one, but it's still beautiful on the camera, but I gotta fix that.
Yeah, so in my head, it was like, okay, I want to go onto the swan boats at sunset and capture from this angle and make sure swans are in the picture. So we go there, and that night, I don't know, that was just a popular night. And so they're like, oh yeah, you can do a swan boat ride, but it's going to be like an hour from now. It's like, oh, okay, that's after sunset. So we walked around the lake, and we were on this side of the lake and went ahead and took pictures of the sunset, which was incredible. So that's the sky of the sunset, and yet, the swans weren't all there. It was getting different swans from different pictures. It was getting a few different skylight pictures and combining them into one.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Your work is really, really gorgeous.
Thank you.
It's just so pretty. I love all the detail and all the colors and everything in there. So, all right, what piece you want to go to since we're standing here?
Why don't we go right here? So after, it had started at Lake Eola. That was like kind of a comfort zone for me. Like, I've been there, I could walk around there, I feel okay. But it's like, okay, what else is there in Orlando? And so sometimes it would be scoping out like, oh yeah, I want to get Church Street, or I want to get this thing. But I didn't necessarily want to be walking around by myself for a long period of time. So I would have my husband drop me off at the corner, take tons of pictures. He would drive around the block really quick and come back. So these are a couple of them. One, I wanted to get City Hall. I love the fountains that are there. And I probably went back to that spot 2 or 3 times because of either it was an overcast day, or it was too late in the day and didn't like the shadows, or I'm like, why didn't I get that angle just a little bit different to capture those reflections? But yeah, so finally I came back to the studio with some photographs I was happy with and was able to create that. And same way with the Church Street where it's Garland and Church there. Was really fun. And again, sky doesn't always cooperate. That's why I'm thankful I'm a painter, so I can improvise and add in sky as I want to when it's
That's good.
not as exciting.
That's good. I love the swan. So the swan is a diptych. Did I say that right? Diptych. Okay.
Yep, that just means 2 canvases. And really, they could go together or apart. Both are Orlando skyline, but if you're really observant, you'll notice there's like a big chunk of skyline missing right here. So really, in the future, if I wanted to, I could make this a triptych of 3 canvases and put that missing piece in, which is kind of what we saw with the Lake Eola Grand Finale.
Right.
But yeah, swans are so iconic to Orlando and to Lake Eola. If you go down there, you see tons of them. And so I love them and I had actually gotten, this picture was pretty close to exactly the photograph I had gotten. It was that one time I went trying to find the perfect sunset for the finale. So I'm like, look at those swans, they're so perfect. I've got to do it. And once I had done one, I wanted to do another. And so even though I didn't capture swans with the babies on the back, I did a little photo research and added them in there.
I like it. All right, so this is Heather's show. It's filled with just the most fabulous stuff. She's got just the scenes that just are everyday scenes, but you can tell she makes them just absolutely pump with color and beauty, and we're lucky to have it. So before I let you go, I'm not going to show you guys everything because I want you to come down and see the show. Wait, my camera's, I do this, sometimes it gets away from me. But you have another show coming out. You want to tell people what they can expect in December?
Sure. I think I've played with a lot of configurations, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be calling it Life is a Beach, B-E-A-C-H. And they are all going to be landscapes that are of the beach. Some of them in Central Florida, and others are the beach along the Amalfi Coast. And kind of to play off the name, 2020 has been that kind of year where we're like, when will it end? And we're all kind of tired and frustrated. And so I think we need those images and those moments of like, oh, okay, we're gonna get through this. Like, see, like life does go on. So a reminder of the beauty that's there. So I look forward to bringing that.
We're looking so forward to it. So excited. Thank you so much for coming down today. Thank you for showcasing your beautiful art. Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Don't forget, the art will be up until Sunday, December 13th. So come see it in person. It looks so much better than it does on the camera. And we'll see you next time.